Hello. Welcome to the Spaceship Rescue Coding Challenge. I'm hoping that you're really going to get on board with this and enjoy some of the creativity and imagination that you can apply to this coding challenge. I want to reassure you that there are many, many ways of doing this challenge. I'm not looking for one single right answer. And indeed, I've been really excited that some of my previous students have been really creative and have come up with ideas that I could never have imagined. So what I want to introduce you to is this spaceship rescue idea. So the story goes that you and your crew have crash landed your spaceship on an alien planet. Okay, I wonder who your crew is going to be. The engines, sensors, oxygen tanks and food supplies are all working. Everything's fine. You also have spacesuits and tools, but here's the problem. The computer console that controls all the systems has broken and all the files are corrupted. Don't panic, in the words of a famous guide to the galaxy. Your job is to reprogram the backup console. So mercifully, we have a backup console to manage all of these systems and get your spaceship flying again. So we need to rewrite some Python code to get all of these systems working. So there we go. So there is the concept. It's just a bit of fun. It's just to make it a little bit more exciting than the usual kind of scenarios that sometimes you find online. I am a big Hitchhiker's Guide fan, so that is my inspiration for this. But maybe you're a Trekkie, maybe you love Star Wars, maybe there's all sorts of other things that you might be into, sci-fi wise. You can draw your inspiration from wherever you like. If that's not your thing, then you could just imagine a kind of NASA crew going off in a couple of hundred years and exploring one of the planets in our solar system. So here we go. Here is part one. It's titled No Aliens Allowed. And the reason for this is we're going to set up a login system to make sure that only the people who are allowed access are actually getting access. Now, it might be that maybe you want to give different types of access to members of your crew, different members of your crew. Maybe you just might want a bit of fun and you want to assume that if an alien gets on, we want to make sure that they can't log into the system and hijack your spaceship. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to create a login system that asks a crew member, whoever's logging in, to enter their username. You can decide what their names are, what their usernames are. You can be really creative with that. And then only let them proceed on to the password section if they have entered a name that is on your crew list. Then, once we know that they've entered a username, which is kind of approved, then they get to enter their password. Now, initially, for the purposes of testing, you could give everybody the same password. Okay, so that would be a simple way of getting this bit of code working. And then once that was functioning as you wanted it to, then you could maybe upgrade it to give everybody a unique password. Finally, for this part of the challenge, if and only if both the username and the password have been entered correctly, then you show the user a menu for all of the ways in which they can now control the spaceship or access the different systems on board. The options are going to be numbered because we're going to use that to select the options in a future part of the challenge. And hopefully you can see, and you will get this as a PDF as well. So you'll get this spaceship rescue diagram on the right here. So you'll be able to see this. Mine is called the Heart of Gold spaceship control menu. And I have got some suggested things that I'm going to be explaining in the future videos. The first one is checking the surface temperature of the planet. And this is because we're going to picture ourselves going out on a spacewalk and we want to check the surface temperature, because if it does vary wildly, then we might want to choose our moment to go out on a spacewalk to avoid being instantaneously frozen or burnt to a crisp. We're going to check the oxygen levels inside the spaceship. We're going to make sure that we are okay for breathing and all of those things that us humans like to do. We're going to see if it's safe to go on a spacewalk. Now, that might be, you can interpret that in many different ways. And if you want to do this, I've had a rather fun idea to do some little alien speech translations, which of course we're going to use some of the ideas that we've had about ciphering and creating different codes for scrambling messages. So we're going to be maybe doing a little bit of that in that section. So as I say, I am a Hitchhiker's Guide fan, so you will probably hear quite a few references to the Hitchhiker's Guide throughout this, but whatever is your inspiration, you can take this and run with this in whatever way you like. Maybe there is some computer game that you want to use as your inspiration. And as we go through this, we will be creating the Python code, and I will be showing you my versions, and you can choose to either follow along and learn from what I am creating, or you can work a little bit ahead, see how far you get on your own, and then come and see what I have been creating. So I hope you'll really enjoy this journey with me. I'm looking forward to doing this with you, and I really look forward to seeing your Python code.